You type a query into Google, but the answer is already in your head before the results load. You are not exploring possibilities or comparing 10 blue links. You are trying to get somewhere fast, like a homepage, login, or specific tool in under 5 seconds. That simple pattern explains navigational intent better than most SEO jargon, frameworks, or flowcharts ever do. If you mistake destination searches for discovery searches, your whole content plan drifts off course month after month. You publish articles when people want a homepage. You build explainers when people want a login page or pricing screen. And then you wonder why the rankings never turn into meaningful clicks, sign-ins, demos, or conversions that actually matter to the business. Here are the 2 questions that matter most in practice for marketers, writers, and SEO teams. First, how do you recognize when a keyword is really navigational, even if the wording looks broad? Second, what should your site do differently when the searcher already knows the destination they expect to find, whether that is a homepage, dashboard, doc, or profile? Navigational intent means the searcher is using a search engine like a shortcut instead of a decision engine. They already have a target in mind, a brand, a page, a person, a tool, or a section of a site. Search is just the route, the same way someone types Facebook login instead of entering the URL directly. The easiest way to understand intent is to compare uncertainty with certainty in the searcher's mind. One search asks, what are my options, maybe top 5 or best for beginners. The other says, take me there, like open Canva, find Gmail, or reach Stripe pricing right now. Think about searches like YouTube Studio, Ahrefs login, New York Times Wordle, or HubSpot blog. In each case, the person is not asking search engines to decide for them or educate them from scratch. They are asking search engines to remove friction, save a few seconds, and get them to the familiar destination immediately. The strongest clue is certainty, the kind that shows up in both wording and behavior. Search engines watch patterns at scale across millions of sessions, clicks, and repeat behaviors every day. If most people who type a term click the same site, return less often, and complete the visit quickly, the engine learns that the query usually points to a destination, not a research session with multiple comparisons or long dwell time exploration. You do not need secret Google data or insider dashboards to read intent well enough. Look for consistency in the results and consistency in user expectation. When the same domain keeps winning and the click decision feels obvious, that pattern is usually louder than search volume estimates or keyword difficulty scores. A keyword can look generic on paper and still behave like a destination query in practice once you inspect the live SERP. That is the trap. SEOs often read the words literally, while Google reads the pattern behind the words across millions of searches, clicks, reformulations, and satisfied visits over time. Branded terms are often navigational, but not every navigational query is openly branded in the phrasing. A search like Creator Studio or Analytics Dashboard can still point toward one expected platform because user habit has already narrowed the field. In some niches, the generic phrase becomes shorthand for a specific product, even without the brand name attached. When you target a navigational term with the wrong page type, the mismatch hurts everything downstream. Rankings resist movement, click-through stays weak, engagement falls, and the page never feels relevant because it solves the wrong problem from the first impression. Even if you briefly rank in position 6 or 7, the traffic often bounces because the fit is off. A single high-volume keyword can absorb weeks of writing, design, stakeholder reviews, and internal linking work. If the intent is wrong, those resources chase visibility that was never realistically available. That means maybe 20 hours of content, 10 hours of editing, and zero chance of outranking the destination users actually want. Start with the search results themselves, not with what the keyword spreadsheet implies from a distance. If the top positions are dominated by one brand, one root domain, or one obvious destination page type, Google is telling you the query has a navigational center of gravity. That signal is often visible in the top 3 results within seconds. Look at the page types ranking, because they reveal what users are trying to reach. Homepages, login screens, support centers, official docs, app stores, or branded category hubs usually signal navigation. Those are not pages built to educate broadly or compare many options. They are built to help people arrive, complete a task, and continue quickly. If Google surfaces site links, knowledge panels, direct app links, or official profiles, that is another strong hint. The engine is reducing steps because it assumes the searcher wants a known source, not a buffet of alternatives. In other words, Google is acting like a concierge here, not a librarian presenting broad research paths. If the searcher already knows the destination, your job is not persuasion first or storytelling first. Your job is access, speed, and clarity. Informational and commercial searches usually invite variety because comparison is part of the task. Navigational searches often do the opposite. The user does not want 10 comparable pages, opinions, or listicles. They want the right page quickly, and extra choice can feel like delay rather than value, especially on mobile when every tap adds friction. This is where the idea gets more interesting and more useful for actual page planning. Navigational intent does not always mean the brand homepage. Sometimes the destination is a pricing page, a support article, a template library, a creator profile, or a specific tool inside a platform. Think of searches like Notion templates or Canva resume maker rather than just the brand route. If people are trying to reach known destinations on your site, your structure has to support that intent cleanly. Clear navigation, strong internal links, descriptive title tags, and clean indexable pages become part of search performance, not just user experience polish. A buried pricing page or weak docs hub can lose traffic even when demand already exists. The destination is often one of four things: the brand itself, a utility page, a trusted resource, or a personal profile tied to a known platform. Those buckets cover a surprising share of navigational demand, from Gmail login to a creator's YouTube channel or a SaaS pricing page. A smart strategy does not try to force every keyword into a blog post just because the team has a content calendar. Sometimes the best SEO move is to strengthen the actual destination page. Better titles, better on-page clarity, better linking, and better crawl signals beat another article every time, especially when the SERP is already signaling one expected result type. They see search volume and assume opportunity without checking what the existing results are actually doing. Then they build an explainer hoping to outrank the official destination. But if users are trying to arrive somewhere specific, even a well-written page can feel like the wrong answer. It may earn impressions, yet still lose the click because the intent mismatch is obvious. There are exceptions, and this is where nuance matters more than simple labels. If the navigational target is fragmented, poorly served, or split across multiple platforms, useful supporting pages can still win. But then your angle is not replacement. It is clarification, comparison, or easier access, like a guide that helps users find the correct dashboard among three similar options. The SERP usually tells the truth faster than the keyword tool does, especially when one destination keeps dominating clicks. Navigational intent is not only a constraint on what you can rank with a blog post. It is also a sign of brand strength. When people search for you by name, your pages, your tool, or your resources, they are treating you as the destination rather than one option among many. That usually means memory, trust, and repeat demand are already compounding. Topical authority is not just about covering many related topics or publishing 50 articles in a cluster. Over time, good coverage can turn your site into the source people seek directly. The end state is not only discovery traffic. It is branded and destination-driven demand, where users skip comparison and search specifically for your resource, tool, or perspective. If your only goal is to capture generic searches, you stay replaceable by the next decent result. If your work makes people remember you, recommend you, and search for you later, you move from competing for attention to being the expected answer. That is a much stronger position than renting visibility one query at a time. When navigational demand grows, SEO gets easier in ways that spreadsheets often miss or undercount. You usually see cleaner clicks, shorter paths to conversion, and stronger branded recall that keeps lifting future searches. Use a simple sequence that takes 1 or 2 minutes, not an hour of overanalysis. Read the query. Check the top results. Identify the dominant page type. Ask whether the searcher wants answers, options, or access. That last word, access, is often the giveaway for navigational behavior, especially when the same domain appears repeatedly. If you remember only 3 things, make them these and use them on every keyword review. Read the SERP, match the page type, and treat branded demand as a long-term asset. Those 3 habits prevent a lot of wasted production and a lot of false optimism. Keyword tools summarize. The SERP reveals what users in Google are actually doing right now. If the live results cluster around one destination, do not argue with the pattern. Let the search engine show you what users consistently mean, even when the phrase itself looks broader. Real-world rankings are usually a better teacher than abstract keyword classifications. Do not ask an article to do a homepage's job, and do not ask a homepage to answer a detailed research question. Intent clarity improves rankings because it improves fit. Search engines reward pages that feel right immediately. Users do the same thing, often within 2 or 3 seconds, long before analytics dashboards tell you the page mismatched the query. The best long-term SEO outcome is not only ranking for what people ask in generic terms. It is becoming who people ask for. That shift turns navigational intent from something you analyze into something your brand eventually earns. In practice, that means stronger recall, more direct demand, and less dependence on fragile non-brand rankings. Navigational intent is what happens when search is not really about deciding between options anymore. It is about arriving. Once you see that, keyword strategy, page design, and topical authority all start to line up much more cleanly. The SERP stops looking random and starts looking like a map of user certainty. Read the pattern, build for the destination, and keep reading the